Good morning everyone, I hope we are well. In today's lesson we're going to be using our knowledge of direct proportion. We're going to be using this to compare different deals. So first of all, let's start off with something very basic, and then we're going to build up to more challenging questions later on. Which deal is better, one banana for 20p or one banana for 25p? Well, this one's obvious. It's obviously the 20p banana because it's cheaper. This question's easy because in both questions they both involve one banana. The quantity of bananas are the same, which means that it's easy to compare. It becomes less obvious when the quantities of bananas are different. So let's say we've got a question where there are two bananas and one banana. Because this amount of bananas is different, we need to do some working out here to compare, right? So the way I'm going to do this is, instead of writing this one as two bananas, if two bananas cost 40p, I'm going to use my knowledge on proportion to work out the cost of one banana. To get from two bananas to one banana, I'm going to divide by 2, which means that 40p divided by 2 tells me that one banana in this deal costs 20p. Alright, so still, this first deal is better. It's now obvious to compare because I've got one banana in each deal. Okay, so changing the question slightly again. So now I'm comparing two bananas for 40p with three bananas for 75p. It's not so obvious at the moment because I've got different quantities of banana. So just like before, let's work out the value of one banana. Right, so dividing both quantities in my first deal by 2, that tells me that one banana is 20p. And then to get from 3 bananas to 1 banana, I'm going to divide by 3, so that tells me that 1 banana is 25p, just like in the last few questions. So still, that first deal is better. It's now easy to compare them because my amount of bananas is the same, it's 1. Okay, next one. So 2 bananas for 40p or 6 bananas for £1.50. Well, finding the value of one banana is 20p. How do I get from 6 bananas to 1 banana in my second deal? We're dividing by 6, that tells me that 1 banana is 25p, just like before. So the first deal is better and it's easy to compare when the amount of bananas are the same. However, was there an easier way I could have worked out this question? So could I have done this in one step instead of 2? I'm going to show you another way I could have done this. I'm going to keep all of these top values the same. I'm going to show you a quicker way you could have done it. 2 goes into 6, right? So if I take these two quantities, divide them by 3, so 6 divided by 3 gives me 2 bananas. This deal tells me that 2 bananas would cost me 50p, and this deal tells me that 2 bananas would cost me 40p. So I know that because now that this quantity of bananas is the same, so I've got 2 bananas in each deal, I can compare them at this stage, which makes that first deal better. So you don't always have to go to one of the quantity. If you can go for say 2 or something like that, sometimes you can find a quicker way to do it. Right, apples this time. Which deal is better and why? So in an exam, so if this came up in a deep dive or a GCSE exam, you can't just write, oh, the first deal is better. You will only get the marks if you show all your working out. It's very important that you communicate to your examiner and your teacher that you know what you're talking about. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this first, well, if 6 apples cost me 72p, well, how much would 1 apple cost me? How do I get from 6 apples to 1 apple? Well, if I divide by 6, dividing both quantities by 6, that tells me that 1 apple costs me 12p. Okay, well, how much would 1 apple cost in this second deal? Well, to get from 18 apples to 1 apple, I must divide by 18. £2.34, I'm just going to use my calculator for this one. Dividing this by 18, this gives me 13 pence. So 1 apple is 13 pence, which makes that first deal better. I can compare them easily at this stage because I've worked out the value of 1 apple for each. That quantity of apples in each deal is now the same. So now I'm just looking, well, what money is cheaper? Alright, just like the last set of questions I asked you, can you think of a quicker way I could have answered this one? Well, there is a quicker way I could have answered this. Okay, so instead of doing it in 2 steps, I can do this in 1. Instead of 18 apples, I can very easily write this as 6 apples. So if I divide by 3, 18 divided by 3 gives me 6. This tells me that 6 apples in my second deal would cost 78p. Because I've made those quantities of apples the same, I can now compare the money values. 72p is cheaper, which makes that first deal cheaper. So that's just a couple of ways you could do it. So as long as you've made two of the quantities the same, that is what your working out should look like, and you need to write that on your page to get the full marks. Okay, so for your classwork today, it's very similar. So it's lots of exam style questions. You can actually see how many marks you would get for these types of questions in a test as well. So our first question is just saying which deal is better value for money, 1 gallon for 85p or 2 gallons for £1.72. So this would be worth 2 marks. So first of all, you need to show your working out. So you need to make both of these gallons the same. So you can turn them both into 2 gallons or turn them both into 1 gallon. Either way would work. And then you need to answer the question. So you need to say, well, is the first deal better or the second deal better? All right. And so all your answers are on the sheet. And please just let me know if you would like any help with that. All right. Thanks very much, guys.